One of the challenges that we face when we're talking about mass surveillance is that there are different communities of advocates and experts working on there. There's a legal community, legal scholars, policy advocates. There are technologists who are largely focused, for example, on the issue of building tools like encryption. And then there are advocates like ourselves, like myself, who deal with working in communities, building popular consensus of support for these solutions. And the problem we have is oftentimes these groups don't talk to one another enough. Technologists often think you can tech around a problem without relying on a policy solution. Policy people don't often understand that in order to get policies passed, you need the kind of organizing that advocates provide in order to get the general population to pressure politicians and democratic systems to vote for those policies. The story that Daesh tells via their social media, which is that they are creating a caliphate that will fight back against repression, against their Islamic views. And there is a great deal of concern in the intelligence communities to try to combat that narrative. And oftentimes that takes the form of propaganda. In the wake of September 11th, the U.S. State Department, through its public diplomacy office — public diplomacy is a word in U.S. State Department parlance for propaganda — undertook an effort funded by the state to create another narrative about the Islamic world. One of the interesting things about political change is that it's often preceded by change in popular culture. Often, change in popular culture is a dress rehearsal for changes in policy. We saw that in terms of marriage equality in the United States, for example. Those changes to politicians, and some politicians, reversed course 180 degrees, were a result of changes in popular culture. The question that was raised is what is the legitimacy of whistleblowers in this information ecosystem that includes journalists and others? And I think Claudio Agosti of GlobalLeaks gave a very good answer. He said that whistleblowing is only good when it is empowering people who are not in power. And what Agosti said in his lab echoes a saying about the purpose of journalism itself. And that is that the duty of a journalist is to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. So the rights that we reserve for journalists should be extended to anyone who engages in this information ecosystem.